I am currently sitting in this disgusting airport floor because I'm about to lose my shit. I had a panic attack like 15 minutes ago. Why, you might ask? I have so much to tell you guys. I know that a lot of you have been following my immigration status and my journey with trying to get my green card. As a DACA recipient, I applied for advanced parole, which is a permit that they give you to travel for emergencies or humanitarian purposes or for working purposes. I basically applied for my advanced parole. They took forever to respond, and then several months later they responded saying that I got denied. And obviously I was really bummed out because it's very expensive. I was talking about this with my friend and I was like, wow, you know, it's been taking so long for me to hear back about my advanced parole. I thought that by now I would have my green card. I wanted to basically tell her about this specific form that I filled out and I couldn't remember, so I was like, let me go on my email because I'm sure I have it in there. And I go on my email and I had an email from USCIS, which is immigration. Obviously my heart dropped and I was like, oh my god, I have an email. It says that there's been a new action in my case, and we lost it because my friend was over and we were just casually talking about this, and now all of a sudden I need to check this. I go and I put in on USCIS, they give you a case number, so you can go ahead and put your case number on the site, and then it tells you what's going on with your cases, and it tells you the history of your cases, if it's been approved, denied, all of that. I see advanced parole, and I see my previous one too where it says denied, but then I see my new advanced parole and it says advanced parole has been processed or something like that. So we were like, what does that mean? Does that mean I got it or not? And I didn't want to get my hopes up, but I'm like, I think processed means that or produced. I'm like, I think produced means that they created it for me, which means that I must have gotten approved. The next day I emailed my lawyer with the screenshot. He responds with congratulations, you got approved for your advanced parole. And so I was absolutely super happy. I was so excited because this is a big deal, and this means that I have to leave the country. And I know that, it's one of those things where it's not a big deal for many people, but I feel like for me this is the biggest deal. I mean, I came here 18 years ago or 17 years ago, and they explained to me I was gonna need to bring my advanced parole to travel with my DACA, and then an additional ID like a passport. So I was gonna bring my passport. So then I'm like, mind you, Thanksgiving is next week. I have a lot of things planned. I'm supposed to be flying out of LA for a month. I have a lot of things going on, right? Obviously this is important. I'm gonna drop everything, but still I feel like they needed to have told me right away. So I'm like, okay, I'm thinking I have maybe a month or two to figure this out. And she's like, oh yeah, it's coming up. It's December 5th, which is literally in a couple of weeks, maybe 2 weeks, right? Not even, it's a week away. I am currently out of town. I'm not even in LA, so the only time that I could really go is this week. This is the week that I have to do it. I am in Fort Lauderdale. I'm in Miami. I have my flight tonight. My flight to go out of the country is tomorrow at 8 a.m. So I have to make my flight today. My flight today was at 5:30. So I get here early, check in my bag, everything cool, waiting to, board. And they say, oh, the flight's delayed. It's delayed by 30 minutes, right? So I text my boyfriend, okay, hey, flight's 30 minutes. Mind you, he's over there taking care of the dogs, dropping them off at the pet sitter. At this point, I'm like, you need to pack my bag because I'm not gonna have time to pack. Then they're like, oh, we're not leaving at 6. That's just an estimate. Now we're leaving at 6:30, and it just kept being pushed back and back and back. And they're like, okay, we're finally gonna board. It's 7 p.m. Okay, so I've waited 3 hours now, just sitting there because I got here at 4. Go in the plane and we're just sitting there. Okay, it's really, really hot in here, but whatever, I'm trying to stay calm. 20 minutes pass by, 30 minutes pass by, the minutes are just passing by, and it's still really hot in there, and we're not moving. People start to be like, okay, are we moving? What's going on? And they're like, oh, they're doing maintenance Like there's a couple, they're doing the last minute maintenance, you know, protocol, whatever. Like, all right, cool. But can you guys put on the air? Because everybody's like really hot and sweating and hyperventilating. And there's babies crying. It's just bad. Everyone just tries to stay calm, right? They're saying stay calm, whatever. Everybody's waiting. I'm like making sure I'm not going to miss my flight. The pilot says on the speaker that there's some maintenance problems that he's not comfortable with. He's not comfortable flying the plane. So at this point, I'm like, oh, hell no, right? They're like, oh, we're going to go on the gate and we're going to get off the plane and we'll figure it out from there. And so then I'm like, oh, fuck no, right? So then I'm like, all right, let's go back to the gate. Like, I'm thinking, all right, let's go back to the gate. I need to, like, get it together. Let's get out of here, right? It's still early, right? So then they're not putting us back. They're not moving the plane to the gate. So people start getting really upset. Now at this point, people are yelling and are like, what is going on? You guys, like, get us off this fucking plane. Like, we want to get out of here. Everybody's hot. It's still really hot because the air conditioning is not on. And I'm still trying to stay calm. But at this point, I'm like, you know what? There's one more flight at 9. If I want to make that flight, I need to get off this plane right now. So I asked the two people next to me, I'm like, hey, can you guys let me through? And so I try to go all the way to the front because, trust me, if it was any other day, I wouldn't care. I probably would just be like, call my sis and tell her to call me to come pick me up. But at this point, like, I know that this is really important and I cannot miss tomorrow's flight. I go all the way to the front. There's a couple people there. A lot of people are getting upset and they just feel like they can't breathe, right? So everybody's mad and whatever, right? So then the pilot comes and he's like, okay, I know you guys are all waiting and you guys are all angsty, but can you guys please just give me 5 more minutes? We're gonna do one final round to check and then we'll make the final verdict. And I'm like, you already said you're not comfortable flying this plane. At this point, get me out of this plane because I'm not trying to fly in this plane no matter what. It ends up being like 20 more minutes and it feels like an eternity. So then I call Ryan and I'm like, oh my God, they're not letting us off the plane because I was already looking for the next one. So at this point I was thinking, oh my God, I'm gonna miss the next one too. And who knows how many seats are available in the next plane. And if I don't get out there to get it, what's gonna happen? And I was trying to buy a ticket anyway, like to get ahead of the curve, but I couldn't. The freaking app was not letting me buy it for some reason. So I'm on the phone and I'm like, I feel like I did everything in my power to try to stay calm, but at some point you just get really frustrated because people think and they just assume that nothing's going on with your life, but it's like, bro, I need to be there. You don't understand. This is not something that I can change. I need to do it, especially because I bought everything last minute and I can't cancel anything. It's not like we're gonna get our money back. So I'm freaking out, and mind you, because of my schedule, like, it's imperative that we do it tomorrow. So I freaking start hyperventilating, full-on panic attack. At this point, I'm crying, I'm breathing extremely hard. Mind you, this is only my 3rd panic attack in my entire life. And I'm like, oh my God, I wish that I really was hoping that this didn't happen, and now it's happening. So now people are like, oh my God, somebody help this lady. First of all, don't call me lady. Do I look like a lady to you? I am a girl. Anyway, then people start like trying to let me through to the front. For what? I don't know, because they're still not letting us out. But people are like, oh my God, help this lady, and like, is she okay, and blah 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 blah. And I was covering my face with my hoodie because I didn't want people to see me crying and freaking hyperventilating. Look at my makeup all over my sweater because I was like like trying to breathe. But anyway, they were like, all right, they turn on the lights, everybody can get out. So I ran out of there as fast as I could, and then I was like, where can I change my flight? And then they told me customer service where it was. So I sprinted. It was literally like half a mile far. This guy that was next to me also ran with me. So we were the first 3 people because there was one other guy before us. The girl is just kind of like, she's not being a complete like bitch, but at the same time she's not helping. And we're like, oh my God, please, can you please put us in this next flight? And she's like, I am not the one that needs to be doing this. Is everyone? And so now she was trying to get all the information of what was happening. So she's like, is everyone gonna come here, because everyone can't get on this plane, and like everyone and she was just like worried about the politics when we were explaining to her, can you please just get us, because we're the only ones here and there's only 3 of us, can you please get us our seats, or can you tell us how many seats are left? And everybody's like with urgency, right? Eventually she did help us, so I'm thankful for that. And I told her, because I was a little bit rude to her at some point because it was driving me insane, because I'm like, can you please just do this before the flights book up and then there's no seats to give us? And once she gave me my ticket, I told her, you know, I'm sorry, I apologize for yelling at you. I'm having a hard time. I really needed to make this flight. It was like imperative, and I'm sorry, it's not about you. And she's like, I know, don't worry, it's okay. Long story short, I got another flight and it leaves at 9:45. I am going to board very soon, and I'm also going to text Ryan everything that he needs to pack for me, because I'm gonna land at midnight and I live an hour away from the airport, which means I'm going to sleep a couple of hours. So yeah, honestly, I'm not going away for too long. So, and I already have, well, I was gonna just transfer all the things from my bag, but my bag is stuck with that other plane, so I have no idea if my bag is gonna get to LAX at the same time as me, which means all my toiletries and all of my stuff are there. So hopefully it gets there on time, otherwise I'm gonna have to buy things at my destination. But anyway, it's a lot going on. I feel like I haven't even had the time to process it. The advanced parole, it says like it's only valid for 1 day, so I'm only able to get paroled into the United States one time, okay? One time. And it says it's not guaranteed that you will be paroled. It says that this isn't, you know, you can't get guaranteed you're gonna get paroled. It's not 100%. It's basically, you know, up to the people there. Yeah, this is exciting and scary, and I just hope that everything goes well, and I'm trying not to be scared. I feel like I'm not gonna sleep tonight, but I'm trying to take deep breaths. But thank you guys for, I guess, joining me along this journey, and I love you guys. See you on the other side. See you soon with an update.